Hey y'all, so I've been hearing a lot of negative things lately about our 2S LGBTQIA+ community, and there's been a rise in gender-based violence. It's kind of getting to me. Can we talk about it?
Absolutely. It's important to address these harmful beliefs and what they get wrong. Let's go through them together. The first one I'm hearing is that teaching about gender identity and sexuality is grooming students into being trans or queer. That just feels so wrong.
It is wrong. It minimizes and jeopardizes actual experiences of grooming and sexual exploitation of children. Teaching students about sexual health and 2S LGBTQIA+ identities is not grooming them or recruiting them into these communities. Teaching about sexual health, gender identity, and sexuality actually empowers students to answer questions they may have about who they are and to make safe and informed decisions rooted in facts instead of misinformation.
Absolutely. The second thing I'm seeing here is that 2S LGBTQIA+ issues are only for white people, and that some people believe that teaching about gender diversity and sexuality goes against their cultures and beliefs.
Many of us were brought up in cultures that are steeped in transphobia and homophobia, including Canadian culture. But no culture is static. Cultural beliefs shift and change as perspectives change. It's important that we ask ourselves why acceptance and celebration of all people seems to be against our cultural values. No student should feel excluded just because of who they are.
Supporting and celebrating 2S LGBTQIA+ people has not historically been a white people thing. The violent legacy of colonization is the direct result of white Europeans imposing their beliefs of gender identity and sexuality onto Indigenous peoples and their own population. But queer and trans people have existed in every culture all throughout history. And as parents and teachers, we have a duty to undo the generational harm caused by the colonial legacy.
The third issue I'm hearing is that teaching about sexual and gender diversity violates parental rights when they hold different beliefs about sexuality and gender.
Schools are required to be a safe and inclusive environment for all students, and teaching about sexual diversity and gender diversity as well is important to that. It helps students feel seen and respected, and it's important for their development and safety.
Under the UN Convention of the Rights of the Child, to which Canada is a party, parents are one of the duty bearers in a child's life. Duty bearers are responsible to ensure that children receive education, and that education will, among other things, be directed towards peace, tolerance, and equality. That means children are the rights holders, which is important to remember when we talk about rights.
Curriculums vary across jurisdiction, but they're informed by children's rights and developed by boards of education and other institutions. Provincial and territorial legislation may include the right for a parent, guardian, or caregiver to take their child or children out of these classes. But this provision is not universal and requires investigation at a local level. Okay, number 4, that being gay or trans is just a trend. Another misconception. More people feel safe to come out now because of increased acceptance and visibility, not because it's a trend. Being queer and trans is not new. What is new is the growing acceptance and understanding, which allows more people to live authentically. And we want everyone to live authentically, to be their true selves.
In fact, queer and trans people have existed through every generation and in every culture, but systemic homophobia and transphobia have made the process of coming out to oneself or the wider community dangerous or difficult for some 2S LGBTQIA+ folks. The fact is, we have better language to help identify ourselves and hopefully gain wider acceptance in the community. And lastly, teaching sexual and gender diversity violates their religious freedoms.
Everyone has the freedom of religion, but it shouldn't come at the expense of another person's safety or recognition that they exist. Many religious traditions emphasize love and respect. And the fact is that there are many religious communities that affirm and support 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals, showing that faith and acceptance can coexist.
It's important to counter these harmful beliefs with facts and empathy. When a student seeks you out for support, cultural sensitivity is crucial. Consider the way that religion and culture play a role in that student's life. While coming out might be safe for some children, it can pose a danger to others. But we should also never assume or prejudge someone's acceptance and tolerance of queer and trans people just because they're part of a religious community.
Hopefully, this discussion has empowered you to create a safer classroom and address and prevent gender-based violence. As educators, it is essential to create an inclusive and supportive environment for all students to feel welcome and valued.